Assalamu alaikum everybody. Today our topic is preposition. I can say that if we discuss about the parts of speech, preposition plays most important role in parts of speech. I can say that preposition is a driving place in parts of speech. So whenever we are going to transfer our ideas to the written material, that we need preposition to just describe and connect all these things in a correct way. So preposition can be defined as a word placed before a noun or pronoun to show its relation to another word is called preposition. Like there are the example I can quote here about the preposition to just note out. My book is on the table. Now in this sentence, my book is a noun here and table is the noun as well. So when we are just connecting two nouns using on between the sentence is known as the preposition. Another example is there, the teacher is in the class. So teacher here is a noun and class is also a noun. So in here describing or pointing the word is preposition. Like I can just say there are the keywords which we can use as adverb as well as the preposition. When we are completing the sentence, it will be known as preposition. When we are not completing the sense, it will be known as adverb. Now for example, a word is below. I can just give you the example from the below, that he sat below, and here sat is a we can say a verb, and below shows the addition in the verb, so it will be known as adverb. But when I will complete this sentence to using other sentence or adding other sentence words, it will be known as the preposition. For example, he sat below the table, so I add here the table. So the table the table means table is a noun here and he is pronoun. So when we are connecting he with the table using below as preposition, it will be known as preposition. And here's another example as well. When we say that she went inside, so inside here describe or pointing that it is an adverb. But when we complete this sentence, it will be used or known as preposition as well. Like she went inside, the sense is incomplete. But when we say that she went inside the kitchen adding is making the inside as preposition, because it is going to relate the two noun and pronouns, like she is pronoun here and kitchen is noun here. So I hope that you are clear about the examples regarding the preposition. Now there are three major kinds or the types of the preposition, which are known as simple preposition, compound preposition, and the last one is a phrase preposition. Simple preposition are those which we use in a common way, in common language, means on daily basis we are using. These are known as the simple preposition. Like I'm just going to quote here some examples: over, in, at, far, from, on, till, out, to. These are known as the simple preposition. And compound preposition means from the simple we are making adding the letters to make these as a compound preposition. Means उसमें जो word है वो थोड़ा बड़ा होगा. Like example is there, above. Above is a compound preposition. There are other examples as well, that across, amongst, beneath, between, underneath, inside, outside. So these are known as compound prepositions. So there are some example of the phrase preposition, but before the example I can define the preposition. Means phrase preposition means we are adding something to the preposition, like in addition to, okay, by means of, according to, in favor of, instead of, in spite of. So these are known as the phrase preposition, which we can just use as a preposition. So now classification of preposition is another one, are the characteristics to just know about the preposition. Preposition denoting place, the position, these are very common to use in our language. For example, we have to just make clear about the example or using the examples of the preposition. I noted from the student, many of the students, they are making mistake. I can call it the blunder when they are using in or it, or they cannot just define in or it in a simple way, that where we should use it and where we should use in. So I can clearly define here for the student that where we should use in or where we should use it as well. So like on or in or like that. So in means inside of anything, and it means very close to anything. Like we use for the cities, we use for the regions, capitals, metropolitan cities, cosmopolitan cities, countries. We used to use here in as a preposition. Like I can say that here is an example, that I am in Karachi, I am in England, I am in London, I am in Lahore, I am in Hyderabad. So these cities are very much famous, as well as the capitals and metropolitan cities of the countries. So I can use it when the places are very small town. We can say the unfamous places are very common places. Like I can say that I am at my street, I am at library, I am at kotri. Okay. So these things are known as the preposition using in it. So there's clear difference between in and it. And in we also can use when we are just describing the position inside of anything, we use in. For example, I am in my office, so here I am using in my office because I am under the walls, I am inside the office, so that is the reason I am using in here. Okay. Then on is also there. On we can use on means in touch with. When we are touching the surface of anything, it is known that we can just use preposition on here. For example, the book is on the table, means the book is in touch with the surface of the table. When you are just going to touch something, when we can use here on as a preposition. And then there is a we can say the above is also there. Above means when above, literally above means a little over the surface of anything. Like cape is above the table. Now you can just see the design of the cape. It is a little bit up to the roof, so it is we can say the above the table. So the cape is above the table can be the correct usage of preposition. And then I am giving you another example that over is also there. Over means not in touch the surface of anything, so it will be used as over. Like I can say the clock is over the picture on the wall. Now it means clock is on the wall but not in touch with the picture. So means picture is below to the wall clock, and wall clock is above to the picture. And here means they are not touching each other. When they are not touching each other, we will use above here as a preposition. Okay. So like in I can quote another examples regarding these. We have to just use between. Between is used in relation to two person or thing. Like I can say Lara is standing between Chandrapal and Kisgale. So between here it is using by the two person to just note about the between. So these are some example we can just take around like that. And then there are another example regarding the preposition to just denote the directions. How can we denote the direction in the preposition? This is very much important. I am going to just quote here two examples. For example, there are two words to use as preposition. Number one is in, and number two is into. Now I am giving you the example. Ali jumps into the river. This is one of the thing I am using. Ali jump in the river. Both sentences are correct, but which is the most accurate? Because into always shows the action. Action must be present on the time. So it means that when I seen like that, when I seen Ali was jumping into the river, so it means action is present there. I have seen my action. So here I will use into, and into will be a perfect one to use. Ali jumps into the river because action is there. And to the river means you are just discussing about the thing where you are not going to discuss the action as well. So this is one of the things that we can just use in our preposition. There are various other examples as well. Now there are various preposition which denotes different style like this. So number one, I can quote here, there are two types of the preposition which denotes the time. Number one is the indefinite preposition, number two is definite preposition. Indefinite preposition means it does not denote time, any limited time. This is known as indefinite preposition. It does not denote any limited time. For example, years ago, ages ago, centuries ago. So these are indefinite preposition which are just denoting the time, but there's no limit as well. But definite preposition, it denotes an exact idea of the time. This is the difference. The indefinite, they are not posing the time as well, but definite preposition, it denotes an exact idea of the time. For example, I'm using here just quoting since, for, on, of, in, it. So these are examples which we can just use in this indefinite or definite prepositions. Like following are some I'm just going to define about the examples of the definite preposition. In, for example, in the ice ages, in the middle ages, in the 16th century, this is the in. And when I'm using on will be used on Saturday, on time, on 9th November. From, I can use from this month, from tomorrow, from yesterday. Since denotes the time as well. Since the last August, since Sunday, since April. So this is one of the thing we, when we are using in such ideas. Now some interesting extension of preposition I can quote here and just give you the example as well. The battle is on. On here is a preposition, ठीक है? But on means something is in progress, and the match is over. Over here describes, over means the match is ended now, and that is above his mean. Above here describes the thinking beyond. Above means more than or beyond the limit of the thinking. So these are some example I can quote here. So the other examples are also there. I can just quote here about the important preposition and its usage. I'm just giving you the example of the 8. 8, I have told you about this. I can give you the example. The cities and villages like at Sialkot, at Jamshoro, these we can just use 8. In, we can just use just like these must be the capital or the large cities, like with place in the street or in the lawn. So these in are using to just describe the situation. And moreover, we can just use about the preposition. Over, the picture is over the clock, above the sea level, above the tree, above the manners. So above we can use in such circumstances. So these are very much important thing regarding the preposition. So preposition plays a vital role for describing any kind of the situation like that. So in the last I can give you another example regarding this one, that in, at, to or into. There are some examples to just note. In and at are used when speaking of things at rest. This is, you must note. And to and into are used when speaking of things in motion. ठीक है, मैं वही बात करूँगा कि ये मोशन यूज़ करता है. ठीक है, ही इज़ इन बेड, he is at the top in his class, he ran to his mother, he jumped into the lake. So this is the usage of in, at, to or into. Now there are other example of the preposition on and upon. On is used when speaking of things at rest. Upon is used when speaking of things in motion. Like I sat on a chair, the cat sprang upon the table. So these are the examples. I can give another example regarding till, to. Till is used for time and to is used for place. For example, I worked till 9 o'clock. For example, I walked to the market. So this is all about the till and to. Where, by, I can just give you the example from where and by. Where and by are very common to just know. With and by very common to know. With often denotes an instrument and by the agent. He killed the bear with his axe. Okay, and he was stabbed by the madman with a knife. These are the examples of with and by. Since, from, and for, these are very easy to just understand. Since is used before a noun or phrase denoting some point of time and is preceded by a verb in the perfect tense. For example, I have eaten nothing since yesterday. So this is denoting the time as well in a sense of perfect tense. From is used before a noun or phrase denoting some point of time, but it is used with the noun and perfect tense as well. For example, I played football from 9 a.m. Within and in is also there. So I can quote example within and in. It is used before a noun denoting a period of time. For example, I shall return within an hour. Within an hour. I shall return in an hour. So this is only the thing that we are just discussing. So there are other examples like the beside and beside. Beside means at or by the side of, and besides means in addition to. For example, the baby lies beside her mother. Then besides I'm using here, besides being intelligent, he is well mannered. So these are examples which can just clarify about the usage of the preposition. Now between and among. Between is used when we refer to two people or two places. Among is used when more than 2% things are referred to. For example, there is a lot of love between the two brothers. Now between is using here about the two brothers. Among, for example, the people of the locality quarreled among themselves. Now this is the usage. So in the last I can quote about under and underneath to just finish off this preposition lecture. Under is used with person or things. Underneath is used for things only. Like sink is used for the we can say the ships, and drawn is used for the living being like man. So I'm giving the example, the assistant manager worked under the director. Now another example is the man pushed the box underneath the table. So that's all about the preposition lecture today.